become the entrepreneurships. And basically this is the accept of technological innovation. Now, if I show the entrepreneurship, it's basically the main is a startup project, and the large company small business project, large company business project, the social entrepreneurship, the startup entrepreneurship, innovative entrepreneurship, and the researcher entrepreneurship. And basically our institute base, these three, research, innovative, and startup, is the more important parameters for become the future entrepreneurships and motivate our students to become the future entrepreneurships. And your project shows that they are able to improve their intelligence and judgment and decision making power and the service oriented power as the entrepreneurships. Look at the research of these entrepreneurships. These are the another type of entrepreneurships, which is the buyers. The buyers may buy the small business or large company or the social companies or the startup entrepreneurships without wasting their time. By utilize their money, they can capture your business. And another type of entrepreneur is hustlers. They are large, hardworking peoples. They are basically the researchers, innovatives, and the startup type of entrepreneurships. They are all together maybe a hustler. Also, the small business, establishment of small business, large company, and the social type of entrepreneurships, all are the part of hustler. Another type of entrepreneurships is imitator entrepreneurships. They can copy all type of entrepreneurships in such a way by modify some some portion, they become the entrepreneurs in large products. This is another kind of things. Now, the technological aspect of the entrepreneurships is an investment in a project that assemble and deploy the specialized individual and the heterogeneous assets that are intricately related to advance in scientific and technological knowledge for the purpose of creating and capturing value. There are the extremely selected, the AGEI is focused on imparting skills such as strong problem solving, creativity, and critical thinking abilities. Some provides the opportunities to the student to apply the concept learned in real scenario through the entrepreneurship and life projects. Since you are encourage your students for this type of projects, which I already shown you in your website, these are very interesting, and it shows that you motivate your students in such a way that they become the engineer. They not only become an engineer, successful engineer, they also future entrepreneur. So the traditionally deliver strongly and importing conceptual knowledge through the text and literature. The life skill can only be developed via learn by doing. This is the important term, learn by doing and engaging with others. So technologies such as virtual reality may impact experimental real life learning, but only to an extent. The standardized content can be delivered in the form of another media. The industry tangible research output that could be quickly commercialized by the industry, and our students is the future industrialists if we encourage them for such type of entrepreneur program. The students emerging from a role learning system have great function and depth in the subject of their study, but lack a real world application. The real world application is necessary for for creative skilling that are sought the employers in rapidly changing industry today. With technology greatly impact learning of those foundation concepts in institute, in different organization, need to augment their curriculum to address this life skill to remain relevant. There are two type of students available, engineering students. One type of students are highly motivated student, and other is the low motivated students. So highly motivated students are suboptimal learning since the pace of teaching and difficulty levels is low for the learner. But for low motivated students, we have to encourage them to become an entrepreneur. We have to realize that what are the benefits of becoming entrepreneurs. This is a necessary requirement. So the complexities and the variance in the learning behavior and the move away from the carrot base, the lack of flexibility, the time, place of study was further extended by almost no change in the institution delivery. While this process is teaching ensured that the teacher is a magnetism by reaching out to a large learner pool. It needed a complete overhaul due to the complexity of learning behavior. All learners have different expertise from the program and from a class. They have varied level of parents, the concept of a course, and they have a very different understanding of underlying concept. This is add to the most prevalent model of teaching today. The institution delivered by a faculty where everyone is expected to learn the same thing at the same pace, while this fits well into fixed term structure of the educational program of today. It does not meet the leaders, the learner exception in of the some level of difficulties and piece of teaching is issued by the instructor for different learner. None of the learners will be able to meet their learning objectives. For highly motivated learners who are already prepared for a concept, the learning experience is suboptimal and they are not able to progress in their learning objectives. Similarly, for the learners with low interest towards a subject, teaching is ineffective as they may need the instructor to start a more basic level to help them to learn the subject. So immediately also take the initiative that how you encourage your students for become a entrepreneur, a future entrepreneur from their course also. The technological aspect is mainly the focus on the external factors that influence the formation of technology firms. This is the basically for technology entrepreneurship. This theme describes the system that support the foundation of new technology firms. It may be one of the type of technology entrepreneurship. It may be social, it may be a startup, it may be small company, it may be large company, anything. The characteristics of technology entrepreneurship, the external events that create the technology opportunities for technology entrepreneurs. It may be a small project, it may be a big project, but they have some social value, and it may be utilized for a wide range of people. University and the business incubators play an important role. Today, the different institutes undergraduate levels and postgraduate levels also try to help up with the startup cell, try to develop the startup programs, and they encourage our students for the startup initiative. And different institutions already ordered that the 1% of the annual budget may be utilized for this purpose only. The technology transfer mechanism is one of the important parameters, and also the suggest is that you fill the patents, and from the patents you can earn, so that your entrepreneurship models and the startup sales also rise its fund. Different government programs also support the technological entrepreneurships, basically for educational institutes, the research institutes relevant to the technology development, new product development initiatives, all are helpful for this startup technology. The funding of the technology firms is one of the important parameters. Due to the 50%, due to that, the 50% of entrepreneurs is tried because the lack of funds, due to their unbalanced project idea, due to the lack of knowledge, because they are basically students, and they try to start their business from their teaching learning process. So they don't get the enough time to market survey, and they try to start the new business. So it is very difficult to survive without the market survey, because if it is zone wise, if you say that the market tendency of the buying and purchasing the market is very variable. So the necessary and the necessity is the two term that the entrepreneurship education is essential, and the commercialization capability is also required. If you go through the elements of technology entrepreneurships, there are few elements which are essential, like the ultimate outcomes. The value creation is the main aim of these terms, that ultimate outcomes is necessary, and the captures are identified as the two outcome technologies, because without any ultimate outcomes, the entrepreneurs are not survive. Overall, the target is the one of the main important thing that without any focus or without any targets, the firm is not identified as the organized way, so that its value is created and captures is lesser. The mechanism which is used to deliver the ultimate outcomes is related to the above 2 points, and based on that the investment in the project in the mechanism mobilized to create the capture value. A project is a stock of resources, like from the different department or different students or different levels are committed to deliver the ultimate outcome types for a period of times in the time frames. In case of our educational institute, the time frame we are given to our student only 6 months or 1 year to complete their project. But according to me, the 1 year time frame is very less. If we start our project from second year or third year, then they get another 2 years. So along with their study, if we encourage them to for become the entrepreneurs, will be very effective. The intelligence of this mechanism with scientific and the technological advance, the individual involvement in the project influence by the advanced relevant scientific and technological knowledge. This is the essential parameter. The project exploits or the explore scientific and the technological knowledge, the external and the internal behavior of the organization to produce is essential. The changing role of a teacher nowadays, sorry, the role of teacher is changing from the one educator to a facilitator to coach and the monitor. The classroom designed for a teacher to be in the front of a room may now need to confidently support the environments where the self-dedicated students work on their personal device as well as they interact with the other learners in collaborative project. So the classroom become a place where the knowledge and ideas get generated through the collaborative and debate with the teacher acting as a facilitator. And nowadays the new student learning methodology also changed, and we emphasize on that. With help of digital technology is enabling teacher to create more interactive, engaging and flexible learning materials in a range of digital and multimedia formats and make them available to the student online. These changes are enabling educators to have a more diverse set to approach the support their learner, which means they can be more inclusive in their teaching method. If we think that the university is a company focusing on bring the virtual education to the mass, either provide the different virtual reality education experience, such as the International Space Station or like that they are all the collaborative work. However, under the threat with the underlying learning losing in touch with the needs of the industry and the society. So, if we think that the fundamental for startup growing, the one of the major part is the network. This should be the one of the top thing for anyone starting out to do, how they start a startup program or how they become the future entrepreneurs. It may be small or large. Basically, that time frame which allowed to our student is not enough for doing a great research work, except the higher studies. So the content is always, remember that the content is the main thing. And another is that the subscriber building, like the email subscriber list, if you don't have the one yet. And the social media is now play an important role nowadays, that if you build something that you can easily marketize it. So the steps are to start a small business that related to technology aspect. The first important thing that do your research. The research here, the research means, suppose I want to build a drone for agriculture drone. How we expect that our farmer, those are dying every year, near about 15 to 20,000 due to the lack of money, how they purchase the drone. So we have to think about that what is the requirement If instead of making drone, if we are thinking about the water harvesting system, the proper utilization of fertilizer, or the IoT based cultivature, then it will be very useful. Now make a plan with respect to your research. Here the research is the market oriented research, and based on the market oriented research, make a plan that how you solve this problem, or how you plan that this product will be helpful for our society. Now when you complete your research and the plan, now you plan for your franchises, that how this business structure will be helpful, because ultimate goal is not only the survive, but also the goal that how you choose the business structure and how you complete your project. The peak and register of your business name is the another important aspect, and our students think that after the building of my project, how I marketize it, and how I overcome the different complexity like the tax, everything. So another important thing that we have to teach them that how to register your business and how to register their business name, and how they get their license and the permits to sell their business. It is also the essential criteria. The another criteria is that set up your business location. The location, business location, is one of the important terms. I suggest that if we make 2 or 3 lessons about regarding this, that how to start up a project, how to make an entrepreneurs, how they get their money for their project, is essential, and how to promote their business, and accounting system, financial support, and tax register, everything are essential. The stepwise is required to start a small business entrepreneurship. The few important suggestions, these are the not limited. It can be existing thing, starting the own business. Unlike others who have begun their own startup companies, and apparently how darting can be to make the company success. The research is often increasing dive to researcher and decline that the need, thus resulting a lot of academic research and limited the applied research. A lot of things of deliver their design, the faculty and researchers are tuned and promote the based on the number of numbers of establishment, number of job creation, have the practical impact, both the institution and also for that entrepreneur. The existing process of knowledge creation and the research at the universities had not integrated with the industry needs, that how the industry is required, how that product is useful for industry. The micro and the macro based from the more platform are gaining the acceptance in developing countries like that. For those that do have the startup companies, it can be tricky thing to market their business and make it grow. That can be say the new business, but particularly of small startup business also. The technological aspect is that it play a crucial role to build a startup companies. Basically, our engineers, pass out engineers, are looking for jobs. But this startup plan is also help them to create the new job in our society. creativity, innovation, and the entrepreneurships, the all are uh, the relevant terms, and they are depends on each others. Without the critical thinking, without the innovations, the entrepreneurships are sustained. So we have to know that where we are now and what is our target. We have to teach our students in this way that we are here now and this is our target that we have to fulfill in this target in future. So the creativity is the ability to create and innovate. Look at the term innovation are included in the creativity definition. Has been observed throughout the history and even through the fundamental tools may have changed. The ability has been prevalent in every civilization. These are the orthodox this definition is based from the Shepherd 2005. Another, there is no doubt that creativity is the most important human resource of all. Without creativity, there would be no progress and we would be forever repeating the same patterns. So creativity is essential for entrepreneurs also. The getting new and valuable idea are always welcomes in the entrepreneurs program, and a rare talent and the getting the great work of art and scientific discovery is essential that unable to the thoughts that are not relevant in the job or the organization. A lonely individual process is the elastic view of this technological aspect. If we think that uh, the feedback loops, the focus area of the different problems, the problems, first we have to define the problem definitions, which is available to everyone, that the research and the knowledge creation, the evident in the personal and the most insight, the release through the training and development of personal potential, so that the validation of research is possible. A technology is an embedded and the knowledge dissemination, the technology driven system, the commercial implementation, the technology for collaborations, and all are related to the job creation. Encourage and the discourage within a group according to their climate is the another drawback, that we demotivate our entrepreneurs that this is not feasible. But if you think that the, all are doing the first time, so we have to encourage our entrepreneurs, the future entrepreneurs, so that they motivate. And your project suggests that you are doing a good research work in your institute. In the reality, the creativity is not the exclusively the elite peoples. The creativity from a childhood, it is a continuous process. So it is not a 1 day or 2 days work. The creative mind also essential for entrepreneurship. It can be developed in the all persons, and the creativity is a personal problem solving process of non-routine kind. Okay. The peer-to-peer learning method is essential. The peer-to-peer learning enhances the learning experience of the student by helping them gain insight from the experience of learning, and the student feel more comfortable in opening up and imagining of this optimistic knowledge among the peers, so as to enrich the learning and also the reduce the cost of the content and the knowledge creation. Flexible program structure. Flexible program structure. The present educational ecosystem is dominated by contented learning model, emphasizing on fixed duration course like the 4 years BTech course, 1 year for their project or 6 months for their project. However, with the technological advancement, there is a possibility to provide increased flexibility across the learner's life cycle. The program should focus on enrolling learners for a lifetime with the flexibility to come back and attend more course over a duration like the 10 years duration or 20 years duration as per their convenience. The new education system is encourage that type of flexible program structure. In essence, of the programs should be designed in a manner that there are no alumni, only students enrolled for particularly. Our NIT also support that alumni program because they are asset. We utilize their effort. We encourage them for joint work so that our surroundings will grow gradually. There are 3 components of the creativity is domain relevant skill, is particular domains like in computer science domains, like in ECE domains or in mechatronics domain, both the computer science and the electrical electronics all are interdisciplines. The creative progress of the work and the task motivations, these are the all major components of creativity. The stages in creative thought is that the preparation, incubation, insight, evaluation, and elaborations. These are the 5 main stages of creative thoughts. So creativity is also the relevant with the innovations because those that meaning of the creativity and the innovations are different, but if we look broadly that they are all related. What the newness and the adding value is the innovations. The creative mind is able to add the newness and the adding values. The functional values, the technology driven values or the symbolic values by design driven values all are improve the quality of the system and with a cost effective also. Now the degree of newness is the radical innovation and the incremental innovations is a major vast change or the small change which help to their okay. What is the new innovations? That what you do the define as a new, the new technological aspect, the new part insertion or it less power consumptions, less oriented, focus oriented product or user flexibility. The new means the different thing to the different peoples. So a complete new technology or the side motivation is also new for someone else, or the new to the world. Like the new to the world means you first introduce that type of things. New to the farms, you first introduce to that type to a particular farms. Addition to the existing product or the process. improvement and revision to the existing product or process, the repositioning with a different purpose, new to the market, like the geography or segment, new to a session, like, and the cost reductions. So all are the new innovations methods. It depends on the use of analytics. The means of the familiar with the tracking of the health and the fitness data, and also the receiving personalized shopping reduction based on it. This display their comfort with the idea to the use of analytical event on the education front to enhance and personalize the learning experience. The institutes may look at the providing personalized learning path to the student based on the analytics around their strength and the weakness. Near about 76% of the students believe the drop rates would be improved if lecture used the analytics to see how they were engaging with the course materials. The adaptive learning methodology is also useful to encourage the entrepreneurs for the technological perception. It's unlike a traditional learning format where an entire group of starts the process of learning at the same time, irrespective of the current level of understanding. The adaptive learning uses the analytics to structure the understanding and package the best suited content that the learner may require through the program. Now, if we define the entrepreneurship is the identification, evaluation, and exploration of opportunities. The entrepreneurship term is not the new terms, but we encourage our students to become entrepreneurs nowadays. Why? You already mentioned that Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is essentially required because nowadays the shortage of job due to this pandemic. So the strategy, the monitoring, plan, evaluate is essentially the required for the entrepreneurships. So if we go through the student part, that take the one class at a time, the 3 hours each a day, like the 18 hours before the moving on the next class, in between they enjoy a break and they relax and recharge, and they utilize this time for startup program. They utilize this time for making new things. We have to encourage them to build new things, and these students move on the next class taking recharge the block. During that semester, the student earn the same number of credits they would have earned under the traditional multi-class system. The advantage of outcome-driven learning with the most of the action moving online, where the student access the institute over a devices, that outcome content that institute need to be robust and access an impersonal incident manner. The programs need to lag behind the class and the program boundaries by allowing students to develop their program by choosing from the bucket individual courses that suit their requirement. The requirements means, suppose we try to develop a product, and this product require the knowledge of electronics, this product require the knowledge of computer science, this product develop require the knowledge of mechanical systems. So how a BTech student of a particular discipline how we acquire that type of knowledge? Our present education system that we teach our students the fundamental things, of computer science, the fundamentals of electronics, the fundamentals of mechanical, but this is a limited course. But we give some favor to our students that in future, if required, they maybe learn from other peoples or they can learn it by themselves to overcome this type of a problem. So there is an industry immersion scheme for both the faculty members and the students to enhance the knowledge in emerging field with full funding. Since your institute also the DQ funding, that type of scheme is available. The industry institute interaction cell, that is I3 cells, is also fund the faculty members and the students going the new industries and take some knowledge from the industry, and they able to build or the solve some technological problem, and from there they build their future entrepreneur. So there is a technology business incubator in all campus, and those are not able to build the campus, they can access the others also to promote their development of the technology enabled ventures and support the entrepreneurship leadership. Industry Day is organized to establish and enhance the collaboration with industries and promote a research culture on real life problems. So, as per the Venkataraman, that entrepreneurship is essential and economic phenomenon and involves a nexus of two phenomena: the presence of lucrative opportunities and the presence of enterprising individuals. However, it is not only mentioned that approach towards the learning will increasingly toward modular, which will turn the support interdisciplinary learning. Such unique and customized learning frameworks will equip the learners to extreme theme and issue via analytical framework driven from more than one academic discipline, and the symmetrically developed a historic and coherent model that offers research understanding of the topic in a particular question. The outcome driven learning system is the one of the important for technological incubators. With the most of the action moving online, where the student access the different perspective and the different engagement for larger industry content in developing the curriculums and the program delivery. As a student could be learn their own without applying for a credential. So they have to encourage and look the alternative source of funding of their innovations. The alternate source of fundings, the how they able to fund from the alternate source, and how they fund the academic pursuits, the individuals and the institution, particularly those with a wide public appeal. Bootstrapping is another alternative to traditional funding sources, where the researchers generate funding by using their expertise and the performing fee for service work for other researchers. So one is collaborative work, where both institutes provide the funds, and others they raise their fund by using the bootstrapping method. So if you have some particular problem, you come to us and I will delivered. I will give you the output with some money. So this is another way. So if you think that a technological move to seamless the peerless efficient operation, it could be based on the recruiting and admission the solution of AGI looking to grow and shape the enrollment while the reducing the overall effort and the cost for the institution and the applicant. It helps the institution to unify admission process across the school and the program for a better applicant experience to conduct the trend analysis for benchmarking forecasting purpose. Utilization of resource is the one of the important terms, and these are the view from the economics background, that how the students generate the funds and they are involved in the rising of the funds for their project as well as the institution. If a students feel the patent, it also the help your institute and also the financial help to that particular students from the earning of the students. The portion you may decide it that 30% for institution purpose and the 70% for the students, or the 50-50. It depends on your presentation. So the better management of physical asset by parting with the third parties in the form of this arrangement of outsourced service contract, monetization of intellectual property by partnering with a private intellectual property company, the strategically investing in innovative models to engage the quality of the faculty and the students. The students' income is based on the sponsored research support or their gift from their pass-out students, the alumni, the net asset, the release from the restrictions, the investment income distributed for opportunities, and the special program fees and the others income. The generation of additional income through the alternative source contribute to balancing the income structure of the institution. Endorsement and the research revenue are the largest revenue source for establishment of any startup cells. The revenue from the different accounts, the 1% already the revenue from the different accounts of the year budget can be utilized for the startup program. So if you go through the historical view of the economics trend to marginalize the entrepreneurs, cancellation and say that from the perspective of allegation, someone who makes the buying and the selling decision. So doing is the barrier of risk. Okay. So these are the different definitions of historical views from the economics. Revolutionaries is the another thing. Where you bought your clothes, you put the trains, the Nike, Reebok, but the waterproof clothes. These are the revolutionaries through the entrepreneurship. This is the another example, the different example that those are produced the revolutionary work. Like the 24-hour news channel is first given the CNN. So these are the first thing. If your plan in such a way that these are the revolutions, obviously the people know to you. So these are the terms, those are the use for the developmental content. Now, small and middle enterprise, they play an important role in the change of technology and the innovation. The SMEs create an additional sense the competition, which is also the providing a mechanism from the regenerations. The SME contribute to the international competitions. Also, presently, that IIC also play an important roles, and all of the institution organizations take part to a particular ASIC code from the SME contribution. It also create the job and they contribute the economic growth of the institution. Now, growth. The structural shift from the manufacturing large farm, they dominated to the service, like the small farm. These are the another aspect of the growth development. The growth in personal, flexible, tailor-made service, recruiting the large farm, focus on core activities, subcontract, and non-core activities. The government across the world are looking at developing the lasting and cost-efficient solution to the social issues. The different organization, institution with their research system are to the front to this solution. The regulators, they need to support, encourage the multidisciplinary and impact research by enhancing and forecasting the international and industry collaboration. The different industries and the institutes may collaborate by themselves. There is a case for giving more flexibility to the universities and the institution to get into such collaboration, both in person and through the technology-driven medium, and to able to raise the fund, because the fund of the startup cell or entrepreneurship is essential requirement for complete the research and development of new product. The regulators could provide the better access through a favorable regulatory regime for this. To develop skill of teachers, administrators, and the institution leaders are essential. The leaders of today are not the digital natives. They are adopt the technology user and turns it is important work toward the capability development of the teachers, educators, and the leaders for education 4.06 ecosystem. The teaching staff need the skill in both digital pedagogy and the discipline-specific digital components. Authorities and institutions should partitionalize the flexible approach that allow context and discipline-specific response rather than one size to fit all solution. Encourage collaboration in multidisciplinary and impact research is play an important role nowadays. The focus on the quality control and the accreditation are essentially required for new product. So our aim is also the how the quality control and the quality assurance of the product, how the student feel that the quality control is the one of the important criteria to sustain in the society of their product in their society. The regulators have to use the strong accreditation and the evidence framework across the delivery channel to promote interoperability of learning outcome. There needs to be a shift towards the modular approach. The communication today are truly important. A call could be initiated through a wired phone device, mobile phone, or be one of the other thing, while transmitting information through a mirrored the web data cables. So partners with the AGI understanding the out of class learning. So the technological change is play an important role. The scientific discoveries exploited by a small firm or production and IT technologies have reduced their role economics of scale, low cost across low cost and access to the communication technology, that great equalizer to access the information. These are the important ecosystem for future readiness. If you go through the Timmon's model, it shows that the opportunity, resources, and team, these are the three pillars of entrepreneurship. And the opportunity and resources, communication is essential. Our startup cell or the innovation cells is play a crucial role, that how we integrate the opportunity and resources. Suppose we build a product, I have an idea to build a product, and our institute also help to build financial support to build that product. It may be like that your institute not support, or because you have the lack of some things, then you are searching for another resource, because everywhere there is some limitation, and this limitation, if you cut this budget, it may hamper your courses also. So the opportunity and resource is the two separate parts, and in between that you require some communications. And another part is the team. So all three pillars are attached with a plan, and these big gaps can be reduced with a better presentation, so that you able to clear the ambiguity, the uncertainty. Then it may be a collaborative way that your entrepreneurs as a prospective entrepreneurs. Nowadays, the Indian and the global universities would have the recalibrate the strategies across all levels. So that it remain relevant in the age of education 4.0. By research, the partnership, and the curriculum, these are three important pillars of education system can be reduce this gap. The entrepreneurs needs, the first is the opportunity, and this opportunity you may provide, your startup cell may provide the opportunity, that how you motivate your students and the lead entrepreneurs, the resource, presumably creative use of resources, fit and balance, the integrated in a holistic approach, and the sustainable. These are the important things. The partners with the industry and the local society across all aspects of the education value chain to create the curricula and the faculty to infrastructure, research, study, experience, and the placement. All are the relevant one. The developed curriculum teaching mock and the faculty partnership with the global universities to develop the offering for liberal curriculum program. They invest in professional development platform that foster partnership with individual and the alumni who could act as a mentor and facilitates for industry academia linkage. The development innovative models to a partner with a digital and social media platform to enrich the learning process through the peer and the social learning method. So the one hand of the entrepreneurship requires that through the preparation to make money and the opportunities, a foster collaborative model with global experts from academia and industrial research, the invest in faculty training focus the towards the developing the facilitated mindset and the develop continuing professional development program, that is CPD program, to support the development of digital literacy skill among the academicians and the staffs, to build a group of champion academic coming from the different department who are leading the way in the development of different entrepreneurship skill or new innovative technique that utilizing the technology. The trained faculty for adapting technology as a medium of teaching design and the delivery, including refresher training, intends as flipped classroom, synchronous video lecture, and the chat room. The develop training analytic solution and the facilitate the faculty to use them the curriculum development. The other factors which are that face the entrepreneurs, that how to overcome the external factors. The external factors, these are overcoming by our trained faculty persons. So this is the crucial role of a startup cell or the entrepreneur cell, that they able to sort out this type of the problems, and they are basically focus on their requirements, the opportunity, and the succeed stories. These are the essential. Okay. If you think that the entrepreneurial process, look at this as the entrepreneurial process. Here, the exploration, opportunity, and the entrepreneurships, the all are relevant. The theme, the individual, the environments, all are a complete part of the entrepreneurship. There are so many professional development training program is offered by Government of India, so that you peoples are going to the different strategic management problem of like the universities and the institutional development is really helpful, because it not only help to your students, also help for nation also. The strategic planning is defined from the strategic management. The planning as a set of possible choice for action is by itself an organized process of collective change, emerging aim, norms, resources, criteria of choice, structure, organizational, institutional behavior, personal relation, all elements which are the core of any managerial process. The long-term planning is supposed to determine the object for the future, while all of them they become the more difficult. However, the complex environment, although the potential effort The strategic management is more specific. It aims at leading, the driving, the helping people, those inside the organization and those the outside. Because job creation and job creation is the one of the criteria of the entrepreneurship process. So they do the ideas is basically the opportunities to the problem. The opportunities, the reality is an idea, only an opportunity when it adds the value to the consumer. It solves a problem. It can make some money, and it is a good fit with the entrepreneurial team. The idea can start with the solving problem. Educating the person as an augment to the change requirement, well structure, and the strategic information system. In organization considered as a learning system, the strategic management becomes the educating process of change agent in the institutional actors. The norms are principles for collective action, shaping personal behavior and good relations. The normative management is a prism as any significant change necessary implies developing new collective norms, new vision, and new practices. The dynamic of cultural process is also essential. The management literature, the strategy, and identity are often precise, the two sides of the same coin. However, in fast changing the environment and the strategic issues can apply the solving the point of pain. So the use of this build the new business opportunities. We have to satisfy this strategic management problem is a great thing. The idea start with solving problem. The problems are a big opportunities. Without the opportunities, no one can become the entrepreneur. If you able to detect your problem, if you provide a good solution, it may be the existing problem or it may be a real problem, that the proper solution give you some asset for your problem. These are the from the entrepreneurship environment and books. So these books is very useful that how a entrepreneur is able to generate the money. Fund is essential for an entrepreneur. Now the locating business ideas. The business ideas is based on the product base. The product is maybe entirely a new product or new service, or maybe some imitation products that maybe some modify in such a way that it will be useful for the present scenario. In previously the marks, no one used the marks. Nowadays the 10 rupees marks all are purchasing. So this is the new opportunity. And when you feel this opportunity, until and unless you survey the product, that what are the recent trend of this product, the solution that solve to end-to-end problem for the customer, and the customers find a new customer segment or unmet the needs. This sanitizer, masks, PPE, all are the essential requirement. So sanitizer is available previously, but nowadays automatic sanitizer is required. So the problem is changed and the solution also change. But these are solved using the existing method, the manual sanitizing machine or the automatic sanitizing machines. These are the new, not a new technologies. These are the very old technologies, but we are utilize this technology in the current scenario. That how we utilize our previous experience to provide a good solution, and this solution is maybe a entirely new product or a new service. Another important thing, that customer experience, that how customers are interact with you. The revenue model, the change how do you get paid, the process, the innovative on operating process, the value chain, the logistics supply chain, the channels, research and development. These are the all business ideas. The systematic approach, but avoid the paralysis with the analysis approach, is one of the essential. The balance between the relation, innovation, and the preservations are important criteria. Often, the managers are trained to give the priority to the relations. The systematic approach should be skilling to the same of the every business or changes depending on the context, service of the company. Think that idea should be generated as required rather than an ongoing basis, but still use the financial marketing management strategy and the resource implication which we already discussed. The hard and fast rules are presented by writers. That true entrepreneur, creative and innovative acts is dare to dream, be creative, do things which others refuse, do things that which others are refused to build. No compromise between the dream and capabilities. The capabilities is a ongoing work. A person with less capabilities, but with their hard work, they are able to overcome such type of problem. The new ones can start and the forgotten the old one and stop the loop around it so that it will be replaceable. The functional evolution of the department of a specific activities of the use of the specific method is a necessary complement to institutional evolution, but too often as it is easier to achieve and exploit functional evolution, displace or they replace the institutional evolution. Strategic management must make the institutional evolution possible, and even describable for the majority of actors, thus are offering a frame of reference to a functional evolution. The technological innovations and the culture is the intact is a strategic evolution. The global and the local commitments, the stock managements, these are the essential. Innovation and startup culture with the organization is essential for technological institution. And we are very lack when it comes to innovation and the startup culture. I believe that our classroom teaching is sufficient to make a entrepreneurs, but this is not really. If you go that your first and the second boy, those are engaged in more studies, but they acquire less creativity. So the traditional engineers, the traditional technology are not suitable for entrepreneurs. We have to motivate our students in such a way that they take their challenges to build the new revolution, new product, so that they are not become the job seekers, they become the job creators. So the consumption of the product in the technological fields and otherwise, those are the manufacturers in the country. This situation had led to many things, and which, like the smartphone, laptops, and the other gadgets which are made in India. There are many Indian laptops brands that provide some great and sturdy laptops that one can use. So we have to change our focus, that purely we use the different Chinese applications, Chinese app. Why? Why we go through that? Because we available some ready-made products. So our creative culture is not so that yes, we want to build that type of applications, and we are able to generate the money. Why our money goes outside the country? Why are not we develop such kind of applications? Because if you look at the CEO of different big companies, they are all Indians. So we have merit, we have sufficient manpower. Why we're not able to design that type of applications? But I'm surprised that your BTech students are developed a such innovative project like the personality analysis using their CV. So they are talented students. Utilize them. Utilize their collaboration work so that they train your patient students. So a startup culture, innovation culture, and develop inside the organization. So the innovation culture is the work environment that leads to cultivating order to nature the orthodox thinking and its applications. So this is the main aim. This may be the main aim of our startup cell. The workplace that foster the culture innovation, generally the subscribe to believe that innovation is not the prevents the top leadership, but can come from anyone in that organization. Make a small group of students, those are innovative in nature, utilize them, and they train the other students as a worker, so they're able to complete a joint project. This is the startup culture. So idea generation to the product development, you have to go through this type of sessions. So organizational training is essentially required to develop to innovation and a startup culture. The creative problem solving is another thing. There are thousands of problems which need the innovative solution. And this innovative solution is the mother of innovation. The creative problem solving is a way of using your creativity to develop the new idea and the solution to a problems. The process is based on separating the divergent and convergent thinking style so that you can focus your mind on creating the first stage and then evaluating at the second stage. The powerful agent of change, such as the new technological and managerial system of information, will probably influence the social change in fast expanding area and the fast growing rates. Okay, so creative problems is the mental process of searching for an organized and previously unknown solution to a problem. To qualify the solution must be novel and the rich independently. The new technical and the managerial system of information will probably influence the social change, the fast expanding area and fast growing rates. The electronics revolution coincides and combines itself in time and pace with important culture change in society, the personal and the social need of citizens, their sense of human dignity, equality of their exercise in of liberty at now stakes. So the targeting, so the targeting the powerful agents is the not look for the a great idea, look for the great good problem to create anything that is truly path breaking you and need to look for the new place. Generally, our students get confused that how I get the idea. If you try to get the idea, then please follow the different hackathon, different idea generation camp, idea generation competition. In the present pandemic situation, we also organize the three idea generation competition. The idea generation competition for faculty, idea generation competition for staff, and the idea generation competition for students. In the way, you able to generate different ideas. Suppose I have some ideas, but I not want to implement that. If I able to sell that idea, or if I get some award for that type of idea, so that the other peoples, those have those, some ambition to do something new, they maybe collaborate with you. You just give your idea and they should be implemented. This is a great benefit of our education institution because we are faculty members, we have different students, and they are able to complete a project, and this project is nothing but the this type of idea which you generate from the different idea generation camp. This is basically the startup culture. So moving from the strategic planning to the innovation planning is essential. You gather the information about the markets, competitors, and the other trends, and then plan accordingly. It is the main key of the strategy planning and the innovations. Until and unless you survey the markets, you are unable to do that new product or new solution. And if you not plan accordingly, your startup program, your startup or the entrepreneurship die within a year. This is not by not saying by me. This is saying that the recent study that in our India, that near about 75% incubators are lost their hope within 1 year. Okay, So yet today the technology cycles move faster. The planning cycle ever could be. We need to more Bayesian approach to the strategy, trying to get every move right, which is impossible in today's environment. We need to try to become less wrong over time. Essentially, we need to treat the strategy like the playing game, taking quest to earn us the experience and effectives along the way. So these are not only a strategic planning based, the planning based thing. We have to think that from where we get the revenue, that is we able to generate the revenue, and what means the idea, and how you able to serve your nation, and how you create the jobs, solve the important problems so innovative way, and look for a good great problem, so do a fast simple fast. The understanding the policy framework, the innovation and economic development. First, the innovation types, entrepreneurship traits, the entrepreneurship and economic growth, unhealing the entrepreneurship, startup development phase, and the requirements. The five main strengths of entrepreneurship change, that introduction of new or improved good and the services, introduction of a new method of production, opening a new market, exploration of a new source of supply, and the re-engineering or the organization of business management process. The recently we go through the TIH, Technological Innovation Hub. The different IITs, they get a lot of funds for Technological Innovation Hub, and they supposed to collaborate with different organization or institution, that some portion of their fund maybe go through your startups, so that both way your organization and the host institute get benefited. We have given some target that you help those startup sell by funding, by giving their technological solution. So it's both way all of us benefited, because the growing individual growing is not a growing in our society. Togetherly we have to overcome this pandemic situation. Not only this pandemic situation, after 1 or 3 years our society may be stable, and after that we have to create lots of job, because due to this situation we are suffering at 1,000 of people's lives is ghost. So how we able to create the new job opportunities, these are the target of IIC. The key entrepreneurial characteristics is the motivation, creative tendency, calculated risk-taking factors, and the locus of control. The entrepreneurship person is highly motivated, energetic, and has a capacity for hard work. This is the main thing of the entrepreneurial characteristics. If a students or if an entrepreneur think that we easily implement and it sell in market, is overly it's fail. So highly motivation is required, that somehow we have to complete this product and we have to sell this product and we get some revenue from that. So the hard work is essential, but nowadays I feel that the hard work is day by day deteriorate. I don't know which is the real cause of that, but our students are frustrated easily. We can overcome this type of situation by improvement of our organization culture, the startup culture, innovation culture, so that the students get motivated and do the research work, and from their research work they able to sell something, and they are not looking for a business. They are not looking for a business. They able to create, not looking for a job. They able to create a innovative solution that if he not able to doing that type of business, he able to serve this nation the world. The creative tendency, the entrepreneurship person is restless with ideas and has a imaginative approach to solve the problem and trends to see the life in different way to others. These are the main thing. The calculated the risk-taking factors, the entrepreneurship person is opportunistic and seek the information. Locus control is the one of the thing that the internal rather than the external locus control, which means that believe they have to control over their own destiny and make their own luck. The role of entrepreneur and entrepreneurship in economic development. These are the major roles that promote the capital's formation, create large-scale employment opportunities, promote balanced regional development, reduce the concentration of economic power, wealth creation, and distribution. That this is nothing but the job creation, the increasing of gross national product, and the per capita income, improvement in the standard of living, promotes the country's export trades. We are lacking in that, but Chinese people are very much crucial in this product, that they are believe in export trades. The induced backward and forward linkage, this is another important thing, and that facilitates the overall development. So this is the startup ecosystem frameworks is proposed by IIC, that a network ecosystem, that inter-institutional partnership and the network with the regional and national startup ecosystem. So this is the main frame. The innovative student entrepreneurship, look at that, the student innovation and the student startup. These are the all is to the innovative student entrepreneurship. And the local student entrepreneurships can be collaborated in a network ecosystem to support the student innovation and student startup. That entrepreneurial scientist and the faculty entrepreneurial student base is the higher education institution is the basic pillar, is the base of there, and the basic pillar is the innovation development, entrepreneurship exposure and the skill development, technology commercialization, startup service and the startup facilities. All are support the student innovation and student startup. Basically, the student innovation and student startup, the base of technological field, but other fields also invited for student innovation and the student startup. So the innovation and the development is coming from the real market challenge and the problems through the industry support, corporate and the private partnership and the linkage. And the startup social service service related, that is social challenges and the problems of the local society and the economy. So these are the main infrastructure of micro system at the institutional level. So if we jointly go through this type of policy, according to me, that no entrepreneurships are fall down. If you are lack some technical knowledge, you approach to the other institute. If you lack some monetary problem, go to the other institute and the industry. They sponsor your project if it is suitable for them. These are the few steps of starting business in India, because basically we not provide some information that how we start a business in India. These are our drawback, that we not shown that these are the steps that when you start a business, you have to follow this type of these steps essentially required. The first step, that the challenging provision, yet it can reap a great benefit for both company and the economy at large. With the many entries looking to set up, the rise, entrepreneurship, there are few things to consider when you are going to registering your business in India. With that mind, we are happy to present a few fundamental steps. The step one, the checking the company name availability. Before any company registration can take the place, you must check the whether the proposed name is available or not. This can be done online, where the application may be checked the availability of their desired company names. Once the approved, the selected company names appear on the website. According a director identification number, that is DIN. A director identification number is a special identification number that provide to any existing or potential directors of companies that they are incorporate a provisional deed can be obtained by filling DIN number one application from the online. Then you have to submit this DIN for verification, and for verification, the identity and address proof is required. Then digital signature certificates is essential for key that validate and identify the holder of that certificate. Then approved sign agencies registered with the ministry can issue this certificate. An application form, identity proof, and the permanent address proof must be submitted by the company directors when they are applying for digital signature certificate. Then obtaining an incorporation certificate. The incorporation certificate is provided by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and is issued by the proof of the Constitution. So there are different steps of company affair website. 32(1) and E18 form is required. So all these steps are we have to follow. Step 5 is that company seal and the official document. You have to verify the these documents and make the stamp with your new seal. Then you have to resubmit, and the memorandum of article of association is also attached. Then PAN number, permanent account number, by filling 49A form. Then tax account number, that is TAN. Then at NSDL website you get the TAN number, tax deduction account number, or tax collection account numbers is a special number. which related to income tax department, and from your tax, the revenue is generated. So it is essential to fill the tax from then obtaining a certificate from the state or municipal under the shop and establishment. Now, why I tell it? Well, because our new entrepreneurs are face such kind of problems that how I start my business, because after all our motivation is to give the business, they start their own business. So these are the present steps. There are 10 steps for startup business: the GST registration and the GST fulfillment and the profession tax certificate. Then if the number of employers is higher, then you have to go through the EPFO, that is Employment Provident Fund organizations. These are the few steps. So I think with the last, my time is over. If you permit me for a few slides, then I have to go. That I already discussed about it. So the key focus when the technological aspect, you to do the research, a focus group, and the trial and error method. You exploring the market and give some question answer that you answer this type of question. Is there need of your anticipate the product or service? If it is not required, then don't do it, because otherwise you not survive. And who needs it? Who purchase your product? Are the other companies offering the similar product or service now? And what is the competition like? And how will your business fit into the market? And know your skill, strength, and weakness. So thank you for inviting me. I hope that you may enjoy this lecture series. And thank you, HODC, for inviting me, and TQ coordinator.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, if you want to take some questions.
Obviously, I am here for a question answering session.
Yes, sir. So participants, if you have any kind of doubts or query, you can raise your hand or write down in the chat box section. If any of you have any kind of doubt, you can ask to our speaker.
Or if you have any doubt, you may email me in any time.
So, sir, in that case, can you please share your email ID in the chat box section so our participants can.
Okay. If the question arises after the session,
okay.
Not an issue.
Okay. Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, one question has arisen that what is the example of social entrepreneurship? Shivam Kumar Gupta have asked this.
Social entrepreneurships like the different